Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah. A pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome back to Honest J. Nowak, Flying with the Foam. And I guess the most important thing is some more exciting action that will be taking place right now, because right now this is episode number 671. If there's any zombie strike blaster out there that I have not necessarily touched upon yet, then well, I've talked about the Scavenger, but I mentioned for a brief moment, this is a blaster that happens to come with its stock attachment. Or this is something that you can actually find on the stock attachment as a little sidearm that pretty much comes on as an extra bonus. This is another case of a blaster that happens to go unnamed, as it was included as part of a set of, well, a blaster attachments and the like, and this happens to be part of the accessories. The Mediator had a stock attachment which had the Opposer, which I already talked about. Then of course there were a few other things around here which I'll also be getting to pretty soon, but until that happens, let's just say this one right here is another case of an unnamed blaster. So this one's the Coroner. The Coroner is, well, what do you think it is? Double barrels, 2 darts, a priming rod on the bottom, which does make it very similar to that of the Jolt. I feel like it's going to be a little more common now than ever to basically have something like this take place. So again, it has 2 barrels and it has 2 darts that you can put in. But of course this thing is basically seen as just clipping onto the stock, so of course that's a pretty good place to nestle the blaster in until you need it. Then of course you could just pull it right out of the stock and then basically use this as, well, 2 extra darts pretty much. So that's another thing to pretty much note. But I guess there are a couple other things I can also address here while I'm at it, because, well, check out the ergonomics on this. Like, really, that is kind of strange, you know? It's pretty strange to see something like this, but I suppose it'd also be stranger to note that, well, this is probably one of the only other blasters that you could pretty much get out of the survival system, which came out back in late 2018. The Scavenger, the Nail Biter, those were the only 2 others, so that's pretty much one detail in there that shouldn't be going amiss. So I'm glad I went ahead and mentioned that, as there's only 3 blasters in total, including this. So it's pretty good that I finally get to touch up on this thing a bit closer to the very end of Flying with the Foam, but hey, better late than never, right? But anyways, when I'm talking about this blaster in general, I'm mainly speaking about a lot that follows along with the series. And this blaster sure does have itself a nice aesthetic with a bunch of plastic molding and the like that happens to really reminisce with the fact that this is of the survival system. And as a result, I feel like that it looks a bit much like a couple flathead screws inside small pipes, as well as a little like canister that's attached right here. And the priming rod might be just a little like steel rod with a little nub at the end of it. So again, that's probably good for a concept of the blaster entirely, how it was constructed in the, well, Zombie Strike universe. But otherwise, for an unnamed blaster, the Coroner surely does do pretty good at what it is. Being another Jolt-esque blaster out there that has 2 barrels. I mean, this is probably one of the only times that we've ever had a 2-barrel blaster, well, other than the Modulus Gripper. I guess I don't really know what could possibly be next. Maybe there could be a 5-barrel blaster known as the Pentagoner or something. You would probably never know. But chances are we could actually be getting blasters like those that happen to be Jolt-esque, just with a lot much higher functionality and a much higher capacity. It all depends on what goes on down the line within Nerf's community as a whole. Seeing as what could possibly happen these days, I could only quite imagine what other concepts that they could pretty much be putting together. So that's pretty much it for right now, but if you want to go see more occur on my channel, then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.